How's it going, everybody? Another long home run for Aaron Judge last night. The slow start is a distant memory. He now has 24 home runs, which means he's on pace for
1 million.
Hey there, I just wanted to ask if you think Aaron Judge can win the Triple Crown this year.
That's a good question. He almost won it in 2022. You remember he made that late charge in batting average, and when you're getting walked as much as he gets walked, you don't need as many hits to raise your batting average. So that's the advantage of having a great eye. He is right now fourth in average. He is first in doubles. He's first in home runs. He's second in RBIs. He's first in WAR. He's first in OPS. He's first in on-base percentage. He's first in walks, he's first in total bases, and he's third in runs. He's got a real chance to lead the league in 11 offensive categories. That's Barry Bonds level stuff. That's unheard of. That's Babe Ruth level stuff. There was a great tweet from Sarah Lang's Slangs on Sports that kind of shows you how much better Aaron Judge is than the typical hitter. He now has 281 career home runs. That's two more than any other player in his first 1,000 career games. But Aaron Judge has only played 902 games. So he's about 100 games ahead of the pace of the best home run hitters ever. And then when you look at extra base hits, all time since 1901, there have been 3 players who have had 30 extra base hits in a single season 30-game span. Aaron Judge, Joe DiMaggio, and Chick Hafey. Joe DiMaggio was 1937, Chick Hafey was 1928. That's it. When you start talking about 90 years since somebody has done something that you've done, you're pretty good. Aaron Judge, almost certainly, if he stays healthy, going to be the MVP. He's got a 5 WAR already, so he's probably going to have another 10-plus WAR season. That itself is super rare. He's got a real shot to match or beat his 62 home runs. He's on pace for 58 home runs right now. And he's getting ready to go to KC, which in 2022, he went berserk in KC. And I felt like that was one of those series that kind of propelled him on his way to 62. So there's a solid chance that he could win the Triple Crown and he could set a home run record. He could have one of the greatest seasons of all time, maybe even better than his 2022 season. And with Juan Soto hitting in front of him, and Soto could be back tonight, drawing walks, he's got a chance to eclipse his RBI total from 2022 as well. And to think, there were silly people who wanted to trade him after he had a couple of tough weeks to start the season because he didn't get to play much in spring training, and people were quick to judge him. Pun intended.
I used to love Robinson Cano. And Gleyber is no Robinson Cano, but he's just been a part of the team for so long that it's like, damn, man, I really wish it would have worked out. But at this point, in order to play against teams like the Dodgers and the Phillies and the Orioles, we got to part ways with Torres. And we got to part ways with Rizzo. And we got to part ways with DJ.
All right, I took about 20 seconds out of what was a 5-minute voicemail. Guys, just a reminder, when you're calling in, be brief, be to the point. That'll make it easier for me to churn these out. I can't see the Yankees parting ways with all of those guys. I think there's a real shot that if Rizzo doesn't turn it around, that he could be replaced by Ben Rice. I think the Yankees sitting Rizzo yesterday and probably sitting today is a chance to try and get him some rest, clear his mind, a couple of mental health days, and then you hope that when he comes back, he just comes back better, you know? Sometimes it can also take a couple of days if you're working on something with your swing to kind of iron things out, and it's better to just work on it on the side and in the batting cages than actually getting out there in the game when you know it probably isn't ready yet. So that could be what they're doing, but it seems to me like they're just trying to give him some rest. However, if he returns to action and stinks for another couple of weeks, I think you really have to consider replacing him. And I think it's more likely that he would be replaced than DJ because DJ can play multiple positions, whereas Rizzo's value is pretty much as a first baseman and a left-handed bat. And if the bat isn't good, and he's not really playing great defense this year. What value does he really give you other than clubhouse stuff? And you could be like, hey, Rizzo, look, man, it's time to retire. We'll hire you immediately as a coach so you can hang around the team and you can be around your buddy Judge and you can teach whoever replaces you, whether it's Ben Rice or whomever, how to play the position, right? And you're going to get your money and so forth. But, I mean, it's pretty obvious by the numbers that right now he's not a major league caliber hitter. You got to hope he turns it around, but if he doesn't, Yanks have some tough decisions to make. I'm more concerned with ways to get the Martian into the lineup. We saw what Giancarlo Stanton does against good pitching this week. 0 for 13 against the Dodgers, looked silly against every slider. Meanwhile, Jasson he's on one of those trajectories of those guys who kind of burst onto the scene and take over the league like, Fernando Tatis did when he first joined, or Julio Rodriguez when he first got to the major leagues. Dominguez is that kind of player. He's like a switch-hitting young Juan Soto. That's kind of how I view him. And it's imperative to get him in the lineup as soon as possible. I think he would be deadly as the Yankees cleanup man. I think having, Soto and Judge on base and Volpe on base, so much he's going to have a chance to drive in runs. And he's got that, it factor where he just seems relaxed all the time. So I'm more concerned with ways to get the Martian in the lineup. And I think it might involve Stanton going on the injured list. Even though he doesn't technically have an injury, this might be a great phantom injury situation. He's a guy that nobody would question if he said, well, my calf kind of hurts. I need a couple of months off, because he does that every year. And for the good of the team, considering he's still getting paid, I think he should be willing to take a phantom IL trip.
Man, it was exciting seeing Grisham go yard. I think he was a deserved player of the game there from you guys. Just wanted to say I had another idea for a trade proposal, just going somewhere outside the box, sometimes like Cashman does. We obviously have the guys to get this done if we really wanted to, but it's a prospect the Detroit Tigers have. They just signed a young second baseman. I think it's like Colt something. I forget his last name off the top of my head right now, but signed him to a decent deal. They have Matt Vierling to play third base. And I believe they have, I think his last name is Young, Josh Young, I believe he is. He's batting like 279, almost 280, 9 home runs in AAA, projected to come up this year. Absolutely raking down there right now, can play second base and third base. I just thought it was another option. We could obviously do something to try to get Gleyber out of here, because they, the Tigers could always use an extra hitter and possibly give them someone like Everson Pereira or Peraza.
That's an interesting idea. Gleyber Torres actually hits pretty well in Detroit. I think some guys just hit a lot better in different places because of the backdrop, and there's a really nice backdrop in Detroit, and he just crushes the baseball there. However, the Yankees already made a trade similar to what you're describing. They went out and got Jorbit Vivas in spring training, and I think he was seen as the heir apparent to Gleyber Torres as a second baseman. For whatever reason, they don't believe in Peraza, and Peraza's not hitting right now at AAA anyway, although he has hit plenty there in the past, but he might be working on something mechanically in his swing, and the adjustment is what's keeping him down. But I think they acquired Vivas in the event that Gleyber Torres got traded or left as a free agent. They would want Vivas ready to take over. He's a contact-hitting lefty. I think his bat would play very well at Yankee Stadium. His swing kind of reminds me of Rougned Odor combined with Didi Gregorius. And one thing that you're going to see with all of the new bat tracking metrics and things like that is the Yankees are going to go out and try and get guys who are going to play well at Yankee Stadium. And I think that they already have some version of bat tracking, swing path tracking, before the publicly available stuff that's come out recently. And I think they spotted Vivas, and they spotted the way that he swings the bat, and they said, you know what? This guy will play well at Yankee Stadium. Unfortunately, he's had some injuries this year, but you never know. Maybe he could be up later in the season. But, Gleyber Torres, honestly, he just needs to start hitting. He did make a nice play on that double play last night. the 4-4-3 double play. But I think if he goes on a heater offensively, it might take a little bit of pressure off of him defensively because he'll be in a better mental spot. All right, guys, I will see you after the game. Catch you later.